Hello everybody. Hello. Love you. Here you go.
You said podcast that you did.
Not even on.
I'm so proud of you that you know how to work. Why?
Yeah, it's off.
Are you sure?
Love you.
Love you.
This is recording. This is recording.
Is it?
I'll say, yeah, just put it there. Don't bang the table because that doesn't work.
No, we stopped. We
Don't bang the table.
we used the microphones because we were talking like this. And
Sorry, what? So you're not bang the table?
Yeah.
Guys, forgive them. When you get a guest, this is how they behave.
This is my house. Technically, you're a guest.
This is our podcast. Our podcast. Not the hour hunting. Oh wait, it is our hunting.
So at the end of the day, it's my house, it's my podcast, it's my
So
wife.
we're the guests. Okay.
Now let me just scooch over to Brandon's
No,
side.
no, it's fine.
Exactly.
Laka, welcome guys.
What's up?
Laka, it's
Hi.
nice to have you guys here. As you can see,
We have a guest.
the one, the only,
The one.
amazing, Hendrik's wife.
I have no name.
Is that your name? Hendrik's wife.
I was hoping like for Amazing Amy, but
Amazing Amy.
We'll just rewind.
Yeah. Welcome everybody. Amazing Amy, the guest of honor today.
like stop banging the table.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's just,
That's why we hit the
I literally
We couldn't help it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
this is just,
Laka.
I'm trying to keep my hands now.
It's terrible. You can't sit
we
still.
keep our hands. We try and keep our hands still. Okay.
Try and sit still, guys.
Okay. Cool. Hey, Moe.
Good.
Is it?
Yeah.
How's the first month of having a baby been?
Good. No
Ah.
complaints.
No complaints.
Yeah.
Managing.
I only wanted to return to sender like once.
Okay. Like once. This is faulty.
Guys,
What's going on here?
You are the senders, so you can't return to sender. Like, if I took her, I could return to sender, but you can't. It's you
Oh,
senders.
that's brilliant.
Actually, a very good point. I didn't
See.
think about that.
No, I'm not taking it. Don't even.
Yeah.
Uncle Brandon, you're so good though.
That's not the point.
No, I must say, Brandon's
That's
insane.
not the point.
Yeah, she was like crying and niggly the other day, and we gave it to him, and she was like instantly asleep.
Oh, obviously.
So,
Maybe I'm just really boring.
Probably.
maybe she got that peaceful vibe. She got that peaceful vibe.
Oh, it's peaceful. Okay.
Yeah, it's not
I think
boring.
it's just
it's
because
called
you've
peaceful.
raised so many children.
That's possible.
Okay.
That is
She
possible.
picks up on your chill vibe. I think the crying doesn't bother you.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, so
Listen, yeah, I know.
makes it life easier.
Okay. Cool. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how we met.
Yeah.
This week, not this
And,
week.
yeah.
Because this bro, yeah, has
Well, we can talk about how
Okay.
we met as
He,
well.
just to clarify, he has we with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I do something
It's we.
with someone else, which is always, I
Yeah.
never do anything alone. It's
So-
we did this, and then everyone who I'm telling the story to thinks that
It's
I did
this
it
we.
with everyone else.
No,
the
Amy,
story.
when you say we did this when we were hunting,
Yeah.
Amy's always like, it's not this we,
Yeah.
it's this we or whatever.
No, I
This
don't want
we
to.
now.
I don't want to be involved. In
I'm
like
not in
your-
that we. We
your-
didn't crash the car. That was another we. That's
You
not
crashed the
Okay.
car.
So how how Amy and myself met
That's why something funny. The way that we met is also the way that we met.
in church. Actually.
Yes,
In church,
in
yes.
church.
That's
True.
correct. Huh?
True.
How did we meet? Just as we digress a little bit, we met here
At the life group. Young adults life
at Young
group.
Adults.
True.
Pastor Kurt said that we must go. Brandon's
Yeah.
heading it up.
We
must-
actually, yeah.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
and
that's that.
Amy and I went.
Finally correcting himself. Every week I'm like,
Amy and I went to Young Adults, and that's I
Yeah.
think where we met Brandon
yeah.
and.
It was just myself and Eric running. It was just myself and Eric.
Yeah.
in fact.
Yeah, he
Just
was
the
like,
two of us for weeks.
yeah,
We had
and then
counselling
It was a lot of couples counselling
Yeah.
for him. Because at that stage his girlfriend, they were long distance.
yeah,
So there was a lot of counselling that went on, and then
and then
we were
Dylan
very
and
thankful
Chantal.
to the Lord and to Pastor Kurt when they sent us somebody else to join the
Yeah.
life group. So we
Yeah,
didn't
and
have
then Dylan and
that.
Chantal also
Yeah.
joined, and
They
then
joined for a bit, yeah.
yeah, and then we just kind of like became friends and
Yeah.
chilled. Yeah,
But it was at church. That's the important
It was
point.
at
yeah, it
church.
was at church. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Because
let's
we
go.
also met at church.
Yes, so she was a leader
Yes.
in youth at this church. I don't know if you want
And
Yeah.
you were a
to,
youth.
carry on.
And I was, yeah, and he was a youth, but he
I
wasn't
was a
really.
youth, but I was an old youth. I was like
He
a
was
3-4-year-old
technically
youth.
not allowed to be there.
Yeah, it was like up until 18, like
One
high
of those.
school,
Yeah.
and we just rock. But it was more like because we from another channel, from anher
we.
like
Avenue.
another
Different
avenue.
we.
Different
that
we.
the church that I was part of was a part of their church, and then the pastor said that
You
we
want
could
to say
maybe.
we? Change it today.
I got to think so hard.
They? The pastor what?
So the pastor recommended that the younger guys
Okay.
come to the youth as leaders, but like not leaders, not official leaders.
Yeah,
like we're
yeah.
just
They
laying
just
back
can kind
and
of like they can pray for people.
yes, yeah,
if
we can be
they
a part
need
of it
extra
and whatever.
hands.
Yeah, like we can be like
We,
yeah.
this we here, all my personalities, we have that kind of like,
Yeah.
I have the leaders that are the leaders that I can rely on, or you know, okay, if I'm away, that's fine. And then there's others that come, I'm like, okay, you're like you're a leader, but you're like an assistant kind of
Yeah,
thing.
No,
you're not an
you're
official
trusted
leader.
enough.
Yeah,
You're trusted enough to kind of we can
be
give
there, but I'm
yeah.
not letting you like.
But you're not on team.
You're not in charge. You're
Yeah,
not in charge.
yeah, 100%.
You're
You
not
can't
gonna
call
come
the
to the
shots.
meeting.
You're not in charge.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so that's why we were there, and we were there for probably I mean like me and the other guys that I was
You
with
laugh at that we.
were there. This is terrible.
This is very
no,
good.
this is brilliant. This is not
This is a lot
terrible.
of chaotic
This
energy.
is brilliant because this guy's gonna think real hard
My
now.
brain hurts already. So I, along with the other people that I was with there, which was not Amy, was we were there for like probably about a year,
Yeah.
and before me and Amy met, Amy and myself met officially.
Yeah.
So
Officially met.
yeah, so I mean I winked at her a couple times and I
Oh,
looked at her and
look at
waved
this
and
guy.
stuff. Just like
He
ignored
makes
me
himself
flat
sound like
out
a
and-
play, yeah, he winked
Yeah.
at her and he like, you know,
Yeah.
spelled out his number.
I tried. She just ignored me, and then then at some point she
No, there's a step you're missing.
Oh.
So
This is why she's here. obviously.
you
Yeah.
added me on Facebook
I did, yes, but
Like,
that was like in the beginning
in
of the year.
Feb.
Yeah, in Feb, yeah.
in Feb, and we met at the end of Feb. So it was like the beginning of Feb,
Ah,
and then
So
3-4
what-
weeks before we.
So you went
Yeah.
into stalker mode is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I was tired of this waving business. It didn't work, so I thought maybe I'd like invite her on Facebook and then like
And then wait.
wave, you know.
not
and
that you
little
did
thing.
though.
No, I
you
didn't.
just
I just like because I saw you there and I invited you and I was like,
But to be fair, you are like one of those
You might
people.
need to take a break.
yeah, small break. I'm just gonna
It's
quickly
a
go
small
check on
human
you.
that's making that noise.
I can never say that WE word again in my life. Anyway, we're back.
He's always going to be talking about this group of people or this collection of,
Yeah.
you know, the gathering of
Brandon
other
and
brothers.
I. from now on.
Full names only because he doesn't want to say
Eric,
me.
Brandon, Dylan, Jontal, all of those guys.
All
I
of
can't even say all of those guys because that also includes people that weren't there. So anyway, I will name every group
From now on.
From now on.
accordingly.
There'll be no we's.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you were saying still that we were.
So you
Just
added me
yeah.
on Facebook
Yes.
about like I'd say 2 weeks before we actually spoke in
Okay.
person for the first time.
Yes.
But what I was going to say, this is the good point, is that you have like a plethora of people on Facebook that you don't know.
I have no idea, because I just thought like going into ministry and stuff like that. I
He
thought,
thought
well,
he-
if someone invites me, like, hey, it's more people that can see my scriptures that I share
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So hey, bless you, you know. Maybe.
So I feel like I was just one of those people, you know, that you were like,
Oh,
I can
no,
convert
no, no, but
you.
I
okay, but
see.
you must
Bless.
clarify. I did not invite any of those people. They friend
Yeah,
requested,
good.
so I accept. You, I invited.
Oh,
Okay.
trying to.
So I'm just saying.
Brownie
yeah.
points. That's
Yeah.
what he's going on, yeah. He's trying to get brownie
Because I
points.
thought this one's a keeper.
Oh, goodness. The
Alright.
brownie points are now chocolate cake points.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So then,
Then we met at youth the one night. I actually met your friend
yeah, you
the
met
one
one. Yeah.
first. And he kind of like, have you met Ted and me?
Yeah.
He was
For
like,
those of
have you
you-
met Mendrick?
Yeah.
And I was
Disappeared.
like, no. And then he was like, cool, we'll come meet him. And then I went and met you.
I think, if I remember correctly, we actually had quite a deep conversation that first night. We were like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? And,
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
you know, whatever. And then you were like, what? You asked me and I said, I'm going to take over the world or something.
You
or-
changed.
Change the world. Not
Are you a terrorist?
Pinky in the brain.
No, good things. Yeah?
Take over the world.
Yeah, not you
That
said I'm
doesn't-
going to change the world.
Yeah, I'm going to change
Change the world sounds good.
And I
And
have a little
Take over
bit
the
on-
world
on
sounds
small
like
scale, I have.
you want to like maybe hold us hostage.
Yeah.
The world.
Maybe.
And I said, like, I just want to finish my degree.
Yes.
That was kind of like...
That was more realistic.
Yeah, you were like
it was quite, yeah.
you were actually being realistic. You're like, I want to do this. I actually want to make it like in life.
I just want to,
Henrik
like...
was like, I want the world.
Yeah.
I want the world. It's mine.
Yeah, it was wild. But anyway, so then we started chatting, and then we went in, and then there was, I don't know, there was like a Socky Afrikaans song that came on.
Yeah, so basically, like, what used to happen at youth, you know, in the good old days, is we had, like, a little period where everyone had coffee and, like, tea and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then they would often, like, play, like, just music. And then
Yeah.
it just happened to be, like, Socky music.
Yeah.
And me being the ballroom champ that I was at the time, you
Yeah.
know, No, really.
She was a real champ.
I won
yeah.
into school's ballroom the first
Yeah.
year ever. Signed
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Look
quite-
at you.
Yeah.
Quite a
What a
achievement.
prestigious
Yeah.
achievement.
Yeah. And we danced.
We danced very cool, very nicely.
You dancing.
And yeah, it was cool. It's nice. It was
You
nice
dancing.
dancing.
And then we had youth, and then at the end of it, I came up to you and I said goodbye because you were just going to leave.
Yes.
But then I went and said goodbye to you.
Then you were like, whoa, he's been waving at me all this time.
Yeah.
I might as well
Well,
go.
I mean, I was a single lady,
Ooh,
and,
Yeah.
wasn't the single
And I
man?
was a single man.
and although I was at the time, I had another love interest previously, which is why I never waved back at
Through
you.
much prayer and fasting.
Fasting. So if you want to know what fasting is for,
This is what it
this
is.
is what it's for.
Get a lost lover to come back.
It sounds like that tea that you're supposed to make. I'm seeing those boxes. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Did you
then,
drink the tea, Amy?
Yeah, so she said goodbye to me and it was cool, and then we went home, and unbeknownst to me, she went to have a conversation with her mom about us.
I love how you remember that.
No, it was special.
Yeah, I went to mom and I said I met two really nice Afrikaans boys.
Oh, very cool.
Referring
And
to
your mom
you
was
as
like,
well.
take them!
Yeah.
Bootkies, take them.
Yeah.
So
And then
she was like, we'll see what happens.
the next, what is it, the next morning?
No,
that
it was
evening.
that evening.
That evening,
No
she messaged me.
no self-control.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
Facebook, though, yeah, on Facebook, she messaged me.
Inbox.
Like, it was so nice having you part of our youth, you know, kind of like checking up as a leader.
I'll actually see if I can find it. I'm
No,
going
you
to do that.
probably, you probably would, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
on
gonna
that
find it.
messenger, yeah. Okay, well, let's check that. And then
Let's see.
I believe,
Yeah.
well, we'll double check now, but I believe I said to her,
Go away, I'm busy, leave me alone.
there.
I
There you
said.
go.
and
Okay,
I'll quote,
word for word, here we go.
And I
Damn,
quote.
I haven't read this since
On the-
2016.
On the
Oh,
21st,
how could you say that?
on the 21st of Feb, 2016,
Hectic.
I said, hey, it was lovely chatting last night. Sorry that we haven't really spoken before.
Yeah,
So I
fine.
wasn't
did
trying to...
She did apologize because I had been waving and like blowing kisses for like a year.
And then this guy responds to me, the ultimate suave move is, good morning, this is a nice surprise.
Because I only saw the message the next morning because I was asleep already. I'm a good boy.
Yeah, who's asleep at 9 minutes past 9 though?
Oh, me, bro.
Hello.
Loser.
Yeah.
I mean, at
We're
24,
quite-
when
we're
you're
quite
asleep
old.
at
No,
9
no.
minutes. Yeah, you see.
I was still working
Anyway.
at that time of night.
So he
Okay.
said, I'm glad we spoke and I'd like to chat some more. Here's my number so we can maybe chat on WhatsApp? Question mark.
Oh,
And then I like also reached
and
out.
who's got
you know.
moves?
Yeah, so we can like, you know, say what's up and like chat a little bit, get to know each other. And then
2 weeks later we were dating.
2 weeks later.
And he's like, they're just trying to make it all nice and like, yeah. And he's like, listen, let's be realistic. 2 weeks later, it was
No,
on.
but the thing is, yeah, because like I always said in my heart, and it saved me a couple of times, I believe, that I want to just be sure that I don't want to mess around. I don't want to date just for the sake of dating. Like I want to date to get married, and I wanted to be sure. I wanted like, you know, God to give me some confirmation, and yeah, I prayed about it. In previous times when I prayed about it, there was definitive no. So I believe
Yeah,
that
yeah.
at some point there will be a definitive yes.
Yes, yeah.
So, and I know it doesn't work like that for everyone. I'm sorry for you guys that it didn't work out like that. It worked out like that for me.
you.
Okay, so it's really great. And anyway, so what was it, like 10 days in
Yeah,
to
for
us like chatting? We were taking a break.
All I feel sorry for it was editing. I mean, I know who that is.
not me.
carry on with the story if you want.
Okay. Okay, yeah,
Where were we in the story?
I don't know.
Oh.
I wasn't in the story.
Yeah.
So,
This is not
No,
about
no.
you.
what? Life's not about me?
No.
Man,
The
I've got it wrong all these
you know,
years.
The universe,
Yeah?
it does not.
My family's lied to
You're
me.
not in the same.
They lied to me all my years. No.
Well, actually, for like 2 weeks, those 2 weeks, I think the first time I went and saw Hendrik afterwards was like the Thursday.
Okay.
So he invited me to church. I mean, how
Obviously.
boring. It was like, we're not going to go on a date, we're going to go to church.
Well, that's because he was like, the definitive yes. He was
Exactly.
like, okay, well, yeah.
No, this
I
was
was a
before the
nice Christian boy
definitive
okay,
who
I
wanted
see.
a Christian girl, and
But this
like,
was before the definitive yes.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
invited me to church because I
So-
had a hard day at university.
yes, yeah. So I was
I'm-
like, come to
He
church,
was like,
and
you,
like
what, were you thinking like, she needs Jesus?
No, I wasn't. No, I was like more thinking of like, okay, well, instead of leading her on or anything, I don't want to like
Yeah.
make it too weird and whatever.
Yeah.
Because like,
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
we're
she's
not
willing to
even
come to
dating.
church.
yeah, exactly. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Well,
That's a
I'd
big
only
step.
met you once.
Yeah,
really
and then
big
by
step.
herself, not even bringing a friend,
Yeah.
come to church. And then
Yeah.
as she arrives, I remembered that I forgot the projector at home. So I was like, hey, do you want to come with me to get the projector? So I just jumped in a car with a semi-stranger.
And I mean, it's pretty weird as
yeah,
well,
just
so-
the two of
And
us
also,
went to go
please
get it.
note, he was driving a black Corsa
Yeah, of course,
at the time.
Tinted windows, you know.
Yeah, 100%. So it
That
was
was
like
beautiful.
real dodgy, but it was
real,
either
real
like
gangster.
it was like either stay at the church with
Nobody.
everyone that I don't know,
Yeah,
or go with this strange man.
Yeah, anyway, so she went to the strange man, which became the unstrange man,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful story.
If you were
And then-
still strange, I mean, you are strange.
I'm still strange, but
Different
I'm
kind of
not.
strange.
Yeah.
Different kind. But anyway, so we were chatting and stuff, and I think because I don't know if that was the time that we chatted. I think
No.
the following week you came again.
Yeah. So it was.
We
saw
met
each-
on the Saturday.
and then that was the following Thursday,
Yes.
and then we saw each other on Saturday again,
Yes.
and then the following Thursday is when we had
Did you
this
go to
conference.
church on
Following
Saturday?
Thursday.
Yeah, youth was on Saturday,
Ah.
not on
Oh,
Friday.
yes, on
Oh.
Saturday,
It
yeah.
was very, very strange.
Anyway, so
Do something you don't say.
so the following Thursday, so it's almost bordering on the 2-week mark that we've met, and she was kind of like, you know, because by that time we're like kind of comfortable with each other and like chatting and laughing.
We were probably
and whatever.
talking every single day over the phone.
Yes, over the phone, like phoning or whatever. I think I came to your mom's house once or twice. as
Possibly,
well.
yeah.
And anyway, so we were sitting on the back of the bakkie. We've seen each other like 6 or 7 times in less than 2 weeks. so it
Makes
was
sense.
pretty clear that we like each other. And then she was
Seems to
like,
have worked out in the end. So.
yeah. And then she was like, so like, when are you gonna like, you know, ask me out on a date? You know? And I said, I looked at her and I was like, I'll ask you out on a date when I know I'm gonna marry you. And then yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't answer that. What did you think when that,
I was
when that
like,
statement, you were
this
like,
creep. No, I'm just, it
you
was
were like 911?
it was very straightforward,
Yeah.
but I think appreciated it
Mm.
because obviously my intention was obviously to date
Yes,
us,
yeah.
not to
Yes,
get
yes,
married. Just having someone actually say to me that like, well, I'm not gonna ask you out
Yeah.
until I'm sure about it. I was like, that's a very like bold
Bold,
statement to
yeah.
make, especially if like someone was not as chilled as
But-
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they probably would have been like, okay, bye, like I'm not
But
interested
also,
anymore.
the
Yeah.
thing that gave me the security wasn't based in knowing her and knowing that we were compatible. It was knowing that God was in it and God was blessing
Yes.
it. That was the go ahead for me. And if I had that, irrespective of how we were connected, like we would ultimately, like because God's the center, like I believe it would have worked out, and it has.
No.
So far at least. So and we're like 6 years later now,
Yeah.
almost 6 years later.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that happened, and then that Friday, was it that
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday, I was praying, and I just felt, and this has happened like literally like twice in my life. So it's like I believe that God has spoken to me over my life through certain ways,
Yes.
and there's certain ways that He's just like used once or twice, and He's just never used it again.
Okay.
So I felt that He said to me, get a pen and paper, and I wrote it down. What I felt He was saying to me, that you know He's with us and He's blessing me and whatever. And the next day, no, it was the Friday that happened, and then the next day, which was the 5th of March, I went to my leaders at the time and I spoke to them, and they were like, cool, you know, they feel this is good, and yeah, we went to go meet with them, and everything was cool. And then I remember, it's maybe the unromantic side of me, we were driving in the car, so I was like, okay, well, so will you go out with me? I'll still do something nice, but like
Yeah.
let's just like seal the
let's
deal.
make it, yeah, let's seal the deal now
He
and
was
I'll make a
like,
plan
let's
later.
not make this girl run away.
Yeah.
Let's make sure I've got it
Like
locked
hooker,
down.
yeah. So it was kind of cute and like oh like and everything, and then like I dropped her off at her mom's house, and in saying goodbye I gave her a fat smooch, and which,
I'm almost prudent in my pants. I was like, I don't even know this guy, and now we're like dating. and-
you don't even know me, and now you're dating
yeah,
me.
and then he's
You knew me, man. I don't even know this guy, and I'm dating
I feel
him.
like you know him yet.
I don't think you ever fully know your partner.
Yeah,
That's the
a
truth.
good point. Yeah.
No, but like we weren't even friends.
No, it wasn't like
that's
you'd
the
known,
truth.
it wasn't like
Yeah,
you'd
it's
known for
not-
months and months and months,
Yes,
that kind of
yes.
thing.
And now I'm like dating you for like 5 minutes, and then like you kiss me, and I'm like, whoa,
No, but you don't like Phil. You don't like Phil. Why?
You're making it sound like she was very, like, you know.
I mean, I walked inside and I was kind of like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Like, did this guy just kiss me?
Anyway, yeah, so I think later that evening I came and picked you up again. Or
For
was it the
youth.
following evening?
No, it was that evening for you.
For Saturday. Did
Yeah.
we have youth on Saturday? We had youth on for your youth.
For my youth.
And then, but where did I go doing something nice? It was later. It was the next week.
I think it was the next. probably not be
I
the
don't
next
know. No.
evening.
But anyway, so at some point I knew she liked chocolate Sterry Stumpy, and got some little
Deep.
snacks.
Yeah,
and
it's
some,
very deep romantic.
yeah,
Well done.
and there was this nice little lookout spot close to my house. So we went there. I put a blanket on the back of my bucky. We had a little
Yeah.
mattress.
Good thing you had a bucket.
We looked at exactly, and I had a canopy, which was
Yeah.
nice.
So I didn't get rained
So,
on you.
no, exactly. It was lekker. We were looking at the beautiful lights across the city,
I
and
think everyone knows what that
I
is.
popped. I was
It
like,
wasn't that spot.
Oh, really?
No,
And-
it's not a duck hill.
and then
He's more
no,
classy
it
I
was,
didn't know if it was called that, but okay.
anyway, and then I took her hand and I looked her in the eyes, and I was like, I need something to ask you. And then,
Ask you, you're making it.
Ask.
You're making it.
and then I asked her out. I asked her if she would like go out with me,
Yeah.
and then she said
She was like,
yes.
Maybe, I
we'll
don't
see.
know.
Yeah, maybe let's think. Whatever. And then from that time, we started dating. I think officially from the 5th of March, and
Which was your mum's birthday.
which is so strange. It was my mom's birthday, which I couldn't remember, and
His
the reason why.
biological mom.
He only had one thing on his mind.
No,
Amy.
no, exactly, bro. So, that was pretty much where it started, and
No, and then I met your parents like 2 weeks later.
it was like 2 weeks later. I went to Joburg,
Oh yeah,
and then they came to visit.
to meet
and-
me.
Yes, and then they met her, and we chilled, and it was lekker and all that, and we just kind of kicked it off, and we started dating, and I think obviously. I don't know. It was difficult. We had some difficult moments and some things to choose from. Like I wanted to get married straight away. 3 months in, I had the ring made. I was like, this is it, bro.
Yeah, it's happening.
He's making it sound like I was the one who didn't want to get married.
No, she did. She did.
I
As
think
well.
I
Like
think
she
what
was
it means
ready.
is immediately. he
Like
was on it.
practically, like
He was on it now,
practically.
like this is happening.
Like
But
it
it
just
makes
didn't
sense
work out.
considering your decision to date because you wanted to get married.
Yes.
Not get married in general, but to marry Amy.
Yes.
So
I mean, I was 19.
that was,
So, yeah.
I was about to say, the other thing is also the age gap, not that there's a huge age
She's
gap.
still
but
studying. I was kind of still studying at the stage, so it
When
was
you
kind
get
of
older, you-
it was
it
very
makes sense.
impractical for us to just get married, with what money, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Ah,
so we
money comes and goes.
it's like a river.
Yeah.
Anyway, as long as you're swimming in the river, you're fine. Anyway, so we
Oh, that's funny, I never heard that one before.
anyway, so we ended up dating for a year and 5 months,
Yeah.
and we got engaged, and we were engaged for a year and 7 months. Which was a long time.
That was a
A
long
year, more than a year and a half we were engaged
We
for.
were engaged for longer than we were dating.
Yeah.
Look, it's long for you, and I don't have any experience in it, but I would say it would seem long for me. But there are people out there who we engaged for 3 years,
Yes.
7 years. You
No,
know,
thank
that's
you.
I don't know how anyone,
Yeah.
how you do that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was quite
If
interesting.
you're
but-
intentional about the marriage, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of having it?
No,
Yeah,
no,
why do you
3
want to
year
wait
engagement?
unless you know,
Unless there's a reason that
circumstantial-
circumstantial, whether you're not in the
Yeah.
same city or something like that. then
Yes.
yes,
Ours was
makes sense.
definitely circumstantial.
Yeah.
We definitely wanted to get married before then.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
just
Yeah, just
logistical wise
we
didn't
couldn't,
work
yeah.
out.
But then anyway, after 3 years, eventually we got married, and I think one good thing, because I always try and take the good out of every situation. I think that's something that we both try to do even before we met.
Yeah.
We both try and work it ourselves. We both try to deal with stuff, and we both always try and see things in the positive light.
Yes.
And I feel that one of the best things that I got out of that 3 years is that there were 3 or 4 times where we both had the chance to say, okay, well, we're not married, we're not bound to being in this relationship. We can now leave. We can. Let's just let's just call it quits. It's been good, but let's call it quits. And we didn't. Both of us just said, well, we'll stick around.
Yeah.
And
Stuck
that
to your commitment.
yeah, that showed us it showed me something that
I think it was also my studies were quite difficult, so having that extra time just to, I mean, for the first year after I finished my studies, I didn't do anything.
yeah.
I just kind of recuperated, and I don't think I would have been able to do that if we'd been married for a while.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, it all works out the way it's meant to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had a great wedding,
Yeah.
and it's 3 years
Oh,
later
it was
now.
amazing. We were going to have a nice small wedding, and then my parents, who are super social and super, they like parties and things, they were like, okay, well, you need to invite all these people. It's fine, we'll help you pay. And then they paid for everything, which is thank you.
Blessing,
My
yeah.
parents are watching this, bless you guys. Yeah, and then we just had this flipping amazing
Party.
Party. Yeah, it was so lekker. It was so calm. The food was lekker. There was good music. There
I'm
was.
sorry you weren't there, Brandon.
Yeah.
I do feel like it wasn't as good as it could have been.
You know, I just
Yeah,
wanted to
obviously.
point.
Eh?
The food was like ridiculous. I
Oh,
feel like
see.
you would have really appreciated it because we did like
We made
little.
a lot of BJP shower photos. Is that what you're saying?
A lot.
Insane.
A lot.
We did like I think people got like mini ice creams during canapes.
Yeah.
They did like a whole like
Yeah.
4-course thing like during
Yeah.
canapes.
There were
That was, like,
burritos, there were
tacos
little
and
burgers,
burgers and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It was legit.
No, it was like proper
Yeah,
street food
definitely.
and stuff, and it was like
Definitely
really
missed out.
No,
That's
no,
right.
it
Well,
was,
we know in 5 years we'll renew our
I was
vows.
going
Yeah.
to say, you guys will have to renew vows or we'll
yeah,
have to
we have
do
another
like a-
party. Yeah.
We'll
We
have
have-
another one.
I say to Hendrik, he has to prepare. Well, like we have to redo this whole thing like every 5 years.
No,
Okay.
not to like have a chance to back out, but more to strengthen and
to get
reinforce.
That's to get sold.
the
It's a one-way
connection.
ticket only. You're
Yeah.
not backing out now.
Yeah,
I feel like life changes so much, even in like a year.
yeah.
So like you have to appreciate one another. That's why
Yeah.
I joked
Yeah.
like we should do it every 5 years
100%.
because you're
Yeah.
like completely different people at that point. So
Yeah.
it's like why not just do it again and celebrate with your friends?
Yeah.
And I think you guys, well, from my point of view, you intentional about those things. I mean, just with Hendrik's reminders on his phone, you know, it's funny we joke like, you know, he can't remember to say I love you to Amy on his own, but it's not. It's more like it's intentional. Like
Yeah.
it's, I'm gonna work at this. You know,
Yeah.
I feel it already and it's there naturally, but I'm gonna work at it.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
which I think is a good thing. I think
Yeah.
it's a very, very good thing. A lot of couples don't do that.
Yeah,
They come
it's
along
true.
5 or 6, 7 years down the line, and it's like chaos because life's taken over, and
Yes, yeah. and
there isn't
people think-
intentionality in there.
In the
That's
small
right.
things, yeah.
In the small things, yeah.
That's true.
So
I'm gonna go.
there's a small thing making a noise in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take a 2-minute break. There we go. And we're back.
We're back, and we are bigger.
Look at this little peach.
Can't really see her
sweet
face.
peach. She just wants to be with us the whole time. So yeah. Anyway, so we got married, and then we went on honeymoon for 2 weeks, which was really lucky because I think I joke, and this is I say this a little bit to my own embarrassment, but I think that if you had to take the amount of food I ate
Yeah.
in 2 weeks, and you had to ration it, and see how long you could keep me alive, you would definitely keep me alive for a year, at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, like there were a few times where you threw up because you ate so much.
Yeah, I don't know. That was
great.
maybe not necessary, but okay. Anyway,
Now,
I mean, if there was a bus, you would be under it.
yeah, you just got thrown 400.
anyway, so yeah, so it was lucky. It was a very lucky time just for us to go and relax and just enjoy being married and stuff like that, which was cool. And then we started speaking about little Luna. There we go.
Hello everybody. Hello. Love you. There you go.
You said podcast with you.
So as you can see, parenting and podcasting at the same
It
time.
works when one of us.
Yeah, it
is
works when one of
available.
us is available. One of us.
One of us.
What is this, right?
I
It works
never went
when-
to Uber job. Missing a meme.
Inside jokes, guys.
Yeah.
I'll just sit
It-
here. Elastic.
It's okay.
It works when one of us is available
Yes.
to
To
keep
look after
Peach busy.
Peach, not
Uh,
Peach.
Luna Peach, Luna baby.
Everyone's gonna be like, this child's got 12 names.
She does. She has like 13 names actually.
But like it went from the names that you called our dogs.
No, not really all.
Yeah,
It's
Poopies.
Poopy. No, Poopies.
Poopies.
No, but the
Peach-
reason why I call the dogs, because it's different, because I call the dogs Poopies because they're like puppies. And like, hey, what's up, Poopies?
And you just make it a oopie and
And then,
you go.
yeah, because it's like puppies, whatever. It's
I feel like you
it's
should
but-
go for
but
speech therapy.
For Luna, because she farts so nice.
Oh, okay. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody
She
wants to know
makes
that.
poopies. But
Anyway.
but the point is you call them the same thing.
Yes.
Because Sunshine was
It's
also
just,
Peach.
it's
Okay.
just terms of endearment.
We have gone off on a tangent here.
Yes.
Another one.
Another one. Yeah.
Our
I
road
believe,
runs like this, and there's a
if
whole
I-
lot of these tensions going.
if I remember correctly, we were still busy talking about. I think we had finished off just after we
Honeymoon.
had come off from honeymoon. Yeah.
Yes.
We'd come back from honeymoon, and by that time we were blessed to have been able to move into our house that we live in now. This one, which is amazing. I love living here, and we kind of got to know each other in each other's space, because that was something we didn't live together. In the sense of like we shared a bed or a room or anything like that before we got married, and that was quite the interesting thing. Like now, all of a sudden now you share
You share
a toilet.
tight space, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if every woman feels this way, but men generally just leave stuff
Just
everywhere. So that was
Yeah.
like a huge
Or-
adjustment for
I
me.
also leave the cupboards open.
I was going to say,
No, I
he
don't
leaves cupboards
understand.
open.
Do you also do it?
No.
No,
I don't
Brandon's
know.
clean, bro. Brandon's clean.
Is it?
I like mine, like I apologize.
spilled this
he
much-
comes to my house and I apologize. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry I haven't swept the house. It's like terrible.
It's
He's
clean.
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's
Apologize.
terrible."
I spilled this
Doggy
much
or
coffee,
whatever.
and immediately he's like,
How up and up,
Then you
yeah.
literally come here and it's like there's like a plethora of crap in front of us. That you
Yeah,
can't
no,
see.
You guys can't see what's going
"No,
on
we've,
here.
we've blocked it off there, but like just
On there.
over here, it's dirty.
This house is a workshop though.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is true.
This
No,
house
it is a workshop. Yeah,
I mean,
we
my-
work from home, so
My office is there.
Yeah.
It's literally like
Literally
adjacent.
maybe we'll take some photos and put it on social media. So,
Good idea.
So we came
So
back
you
from
moved-
honeymoon.
yeah, so
anyway,
now
so
you're
we came
living
back from
together.
honeymoon, yeah, and we got to know each other. And I think obviously we've only been married for like almost 3 years, so not even 3 years yet. So there's a limited amount of information that we can give or advice that we can give, because it's not like we've been married for like 50 years. So she was hungry, turns out, and now
Turns
she's
out.
here chilling with us. We're gonna try and record again until she falls asleep. But yeah, so Brando, you wanted to ask her some questions or something?
Yes, no, there wasn't a lot of questions. I just wanted to, like, if you guys could point out, I mean, we pretty much summed up to Luna now, kind of. you
Oh
know.
yeah, basically. We were married for
Basically.
3 years and now we've got this.
Well, I mean, we spoke about.
Guys,
I
forgive
was.
them, they're loving, but now we've got this.
I think we were like right from the beginning almost. We were like, you know, so what about kids? Like, you know, shall we have kids? And we were both always keen to have kids, but we weren't. I don't know. We were both not.
In a rush.
We weren't in a rush, and we both weren't gonna. Like, we weren't gonna try
That's actually
unless
a
both of
lie.
us. What?
You were kind of in a rush.
No, I wasn't in a rush. I was ready to have kids, but I wasn't
Hendrik
like
was-
rushing it.
Yeah,
Like
but-
I was like the thing is we
Every
said-
year since we got married,
Yeah,
Hendrik
so-
asked me for children for Christmas.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah, and then now it's like year 3, so now I've got one. So, you know.
Finally.
But yeah.
Yeah, so but anyway, so the thing is, we decided that unless we both agree,
Yeah.
we won't try.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's an important thing. Like, both of us needed to be ready for it and yeah, do it. Oh, look, puppies. Oh, shame. Come, Darcy, come.
And then when we did start trying it was not long.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
like immediately fell pregnant, thank Jesus, and yeah, it was really awesome, and
And there
yeah,
she is.
we got a little baby. You want to go doo-doo? You want to go doo-doo? Let's go doo-doo. Okay, you guys can carry. Maybe you can answer some of the questions.
Yeah, we'll do that and then you can come back in.
One on one interview with Brandon.
Okay, well, so how does it make you feel? now that he's gone.
This I feel like a therapy
now that he's
session.
gone, tell us all the secrets. No, I'm joking.
You think? Have any secrets?
No, what I said to him, I wonder, like, if you could give your 2 best points, you know, or 2 best decisions you made, something like that, and then maybe your 2 most difficult things that you had to do without going into detail of what it is, but like maybe you can maybe talk about 2 difficult things or times that you
Yeah,
had,
let's do difficult things first because I feel like
whichever way.
it's always nice to end on a high note.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's like
let's get the tissues. This is the tissue section.
Christ.
Yeah.
No, I think like you know, like I joke now that you never really know your partner, and I think that like you change so much over time. I think definitely our hardest time was like when we moved in together.
Okay.
Just
Putting into the same space and
yeah, it's so
living with
strange.
someone else and yeah.
Because you don't think it's going to be a big deal because
Yeah.
you like you see each other every day. And,
Yeah,
you know,
but it's not the
and,
same,
And
yeah.
sometimes you go and like stay over because it's too late to go
Yeah,
home or
yeah.
whatever. And then like you live together and it's like it's a completely different
Yeah,
ballgame.
it's 24 hours.
It's 24 hours, and now
there.
it's like 24 hours like with someone who now is like, you know, they're pooing and like and it's real. It's just like, you know.
Thank you for that.
No, but it's like they're using your bathroom and they, you know,
use
they.
space, yeah.
And their clothes are on the floor, and like you
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
them 700 times
To
not
close
to
the
do
drawers.
things, or like close the damn cupboards. And it's trivial things. It's such stupid
Yeah.
things, but like stupid things over a long period of time can be like really mentally draining.
Yeah.
So like that was probably one of the hardest things, as stupid as it sounds.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, in that note, I think it is. I don't think it's that stupid because I mean, I think obviously I'm single and whatnot, but and I think the older you get, I know some other people who are older than me and that are single, and the older we are and being single, it's more difficult to let someone in that space
Makes
because
sense,
you're more
yeah.
set in your ways.
And you're more independent.
You're more
as
independent,
well.
you're more set in your ways, you're more like, this is my space, like, don't
Yeah.
get in my space, like,
That's why it's good to buy a house together.
yeah.
So like just move
Which is-
out of your place
yeah,
when you
find someone to live with. Yeah.
Yeah, because then, but that was also the
Because
one
it is,
thing.
yeah.
Hendrik had a house before we
Yes.
got married, and I
Yes.
didn't. I lived with my mom.
Yeah.
So I said to him still, he wanted to buy the place he was currently living in.
Yes.
But it was basically like a commune because
Yeah, yeah.
every one of the
Yeah.
youth kids lived there.
Yes. No, that would not have been a good idea.
It would not have been a good idea. He
Yeah.
was still under the impression that they were going to have sleepovers every week. I mean, he still told me. He's like, well, the
He's back.
guys,
Shh, he's back. Shh, no, stop telling the secret.
I've
No,
come
he
a
knows
long
this.
way. You've
He's
come
like-
a long way.
the guys can definitely stay here
Yeah,
like
yeah.
twice a week. And I was like, no.
No, they can't,
When you
yeah.
get married, like, especially
your
with like
space.
14, 15-year-olds, I mean,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that in like the first year of marriage? So
Yeah, I know.
to move out of that space and have our own space, I think was a really good thing for
Yeah.
us.
It was good because it wasn't a. It was like both. We had common ground, and on uncommon ground. I suppose it wasn't like she was moving in with me. We moved into a new place
Yeah.
together.
No, so the question was two like good points, and you put that way, two things that are difficult. So we started with the difficult ones because it's
Okay.
I don't even know. So your bad habits was, no, I'm joking. Being in the same space, like, and I said,
Is this the difficult?
yeah, and I
Yeah.
said to Amy, like, as being someone who's older, and the older I get, and being single, I know someone. I mean, I know other people who are in their 40s, and have never been married, and
Yes.
even them, like, it's more difficult because you're even more independent. It's even more your space, and
Yeah.
you haven't lived with someone else. You're not sharing. Like I lived with my siblings, which was great. So then I used to sharing, and that was irritating enough. Now I'm living on my own. It's like this is literally my whole space.
Yeah.
Everything is mine. If
Yeah,
I
you,
want
you've
it,
got your
I
own freedom. You can
Exactly,
do whatever
you
you
know what I
want.
mean?
Yeah.
So bringing someone into that I can understand would be difficult because now I've got to give up that space and that
Yeah.
whatever. The drawers being
think-
left open or
I
whatever.
think I don't know. For us at least, like I don't know. We quite chilled.
issues here while we're at it.
So I mean, I mean, we don't really invade each other's space. Like
No.
we're quite chilled with each other anyway. I mean, yeah.
Well, I
so-
think because obviously COVID happened, and I think a lot of people struggled with that adjustment. We both worked from home.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, I
think
think
that's
we
a big
both had
help.
we both had a realization that it's like, okay, we're getting married now. So it's
No.
like the
Regards coming out.
like yeah the like the idea of it still being just about
Yeah.
me and my place and
Yeah.
me, like that's not
That's
a
not
thing
there.
anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, you get into a marriage by giving yourself over completely, and that's not so that you can say to the other person, like, well, you gave me your life. It's what they do has got nothing to do with you.
Yeah. So yeah.
Your responsibility is the main part. What you made a promise, you made a vow on that day, and you need to make sure that you stick to that. And I mean, I think we've been pretty good with that. I think.
I was going to say another difficult thing that we actually been speaking about recently is like all of the preconceived ideas that you have before
Yeah.
you get married of like
Yes.
what marriage is
Yeah.
supposed to be, especially in like a Christian context. Like what do certain things mean, and like how you're supposed to navigate certain things.
Yes.
It's kind of left in the dark, or
Yeah.
left up to your own assumption.
Yeah.
So that's something that we've been working on a lot. It's like, what did you come into like this relationship with? Like the idea. What was your idea of like, let's say, roles?
What's this going to
Yeah.
look like?
Like
Are you going to
gender
make me
roles.
coffee in the morning, or am I making food, or
Yeah.
just anything? Just like
It's weird. It's interesting because I think there's generations, our parents and our grandparents, where those roles are set.
Yes.
Like it's, we were actually talking about someone else recently. I was talking with someone, and they were saying like, and also culturally as well. Certain
100%.
cultures and whatever, so they have a certain role. So when something happens, like having a child, it's like, well, the child's the woman's,
yeah.
the mother's problem. Like
Yeah.
the man, get on with your life. You go back to work.
Yeah.
And for some part that is correct because he needs to earn the money. But there's also we're in a time now where that stuff's out the window.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's difficult because it's like if I look at my grandparents, my grandpa worked full time and my grandma stayed at home and she cooked.
Yes, yes.
That was the
Right.
culture.
Yeah.
So when the kids came, the kids just kind of fell into that routine.
Yes.
They didn't start that routine when the kids happened. So now, like with our generation, women work almost like just as hard, if
Same,
not harder,
exactly.
as men. Like
Yeah.
like a job is a job. You know,
there's
women
no-
and
yeah,
men work.
Exactly.
So now it's like, well, if to just throw the whole responsibility of the child just on the mother, when both of you are working really hard, is unfair.
And I think it's a needed thing now. I mean, I joke, but we chat and Mom and I joke, and like the case of like, when you come together now, you both have to work, you know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and it sounds funny, we're not being, I mean, but like, petrol's not £1 anymore. Petrol's
No.
nearly
20
20 rand, you know, or 20 rand. So, you both have to work. So it's not only a case of we don't do it because it's the thing to be done, you do it because you have to do it. So
Yes,
now
there's no other option.
yeah, so now there's a whole new dynamic that's coming into marriage or relationships because of that point. You're both working. There's not just one person who's bringing who's the breadwinner, you know.
Yeah.
So this isn't necessarily that principle either of, you know, it's my, as a man, it's my house, it's my own, because I'm paying for it. Because it's a we situation.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, like with my grandpa, like him being a good husband and providing for his family would be waking up at 5, going to work, coming back at 5 or 6 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That would be him being a good husband. Whereas now, like it's almost that is seen as a bad husband because it's like, well, where are you all day? Like you.
And that's the issue I think
away.
that came along with COVID. Level 5 lockdown, everyone's at home. Husbands are at home who haven't been home in years. They, you know, people are at
So
home.
you meet your wife for the first time.
Yeah, because you're only seeing them at 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Kids are finished, it's like literally supper, whatever, bed, you know, next morning, same routine kind of thing.
True.
Whereas now COVID, you weren't, you were at home.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, and I think that put a lot of strain on some people, but I think in our situation,
and I think it puts strain on the space. They're talking about who's in whose space.
Yes.
Because it's the home is now the wife's space, for example, because she's at home with the kids all day.
yeah,
Now he's home as well.
The
Now,
socks on the floor and the
exactly.
yeah,
Yes, you know,
and little things like they build up.
yeah.
Luckily not with us because we're like the perfect couple, so that's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, so humble and so, like, you know,
So amazing.
but also you working from home, so you are in the space all the time together. So I think that
we're used to sharing a space.
We're used to sharing
which is a good. I mean, it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, we respect each other's boundaries, and we've got the privilege of living in a very nice area where there's hiking trails and there's there's ponds to go fish and stuff. So you know, not even when tension gets there, but like oftentimes I'll just go, cool, you know, I'm gonna go and fish a little bit, or I'm gonna just go spend time alone, and I think that helps us, you know, especially even when we go hunting.
Yes.
Like it's so lucky because like we miss each other so much that like by the time, because like, I mean, sometimes we hunt, like when we hunt hard, you know. So like we hunt like 30 kilometers in a day, you know, walking.
36,
36, yeah. So it's just like it's crazy, and so by the time we get home, like especially when you're tired, then you really miss home. And so by the time I get home, it's so lucky to be here, and like it's like it's a true example of like absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, it's really in that aspect it really does work. So another hard thing I think for me.
Oh, there's 3. Okay, so you just asked for 2.
No, well I mean you gave 2, I didn't give any.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think a hard
as I
thing.
said, counselling session.
In
How does that
being
make
in
you
each
feel?
other's space and talking about it and talking about things and stuff, sometimes like you have to say things as it is, and I think in order to, you know, you try and I don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, so I'm just not going to tell them how I feel or you know about this certain thing or something like that. And I mean, just from our experience, it's very difficult being honest and truthful, and you know, I think I've failed in that area more often than not. But
and it's not difficult out of hiding something; it's something out of not wanting to hurt the other person.
Yeah.
No, I can.
Yeah, and it's like, and then because then you do end up hurting the person because it always comes out. Like, how arrogant do you think you are that you think you can bend reality? You know, you think you can create this false reality where this person lives in an area or in this reality in the space that is something that it isn't really. You know?
And they're not going to get hurt.
And I think that being truthful and honest with each other is a difficult thing. But I think that if you work through it and you talk about it. And obviously, if both of you want to actually work at the relationship, then it can
be transparent.
Yeah, be transparent. Yeah, it's a really healthy thing. Like, because I mean, once that trust is damaged, like that's just not a good place to be. You know, you want to build that trust. You want to be able to 100% trust each other without even batting an eyelid. And the second is like the second you start hiding stuff or not being completely truthful or you know stuff like that. That's when you know that trust gets damaged, and you don't want that. And you ultimately, I mean, you want to help the other person live in the most real version of life.
Yes.
You don't want to trip them into deception because now you create, like if you tell someone a lie, they are basically living in a fake reality to an extent.
Well,
and I think it's very important that you know be honest and be truthful to each other. Even though it's very difficult, you know. Like I say, I'm not getting it. I don't get it right all the time, but we're trying. We're a work in progress, and I think that's the point. Yeah,
Perfect.
90% of the time.
Okay.
97% of the time.
Oh my gosh. What's an odd number?
You said too good or
Yeah,
two?
like I think good things like that were really
Highlights.
your highlights, things that you were like, wow, this is so awesome. This, you know, or like this moment was kind of what I was hoping for, or something like that.
Well, I think despite our birth being kind of, what's the word?
Difficult.
Don't
Not
even want to say
difficult.
difficult. I was going to say like tragic.
It's not
It's
tragic.
not what we wanted. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was-
We were planning for our
Plans
own
change.
birth, and it was definitely unplanned.
Yeah.
The way that it happened.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like, when she was born, it was definitely like, for me at least, it was a huge highlight.
Yeah.
No, having a baby was, man. I think. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but like I think in the bigger, like in the bigger scheme of things, like if you are in a good place between your husband and wife, and you decide to have a kid, like that's a heck of a lot of responsibility. But it is so amazing. It wasn't daunting for 1 second. It wasn't like oh no, there was no sadness to it. There was no depression, whatever. It was just like this real good. It's a very healthy thing, I think.
I think it gives you a real perspective
Yeah.
that like you can't really have otherwise.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always joke with Hendrik that the best day of my life was the day we found out she was a girl.
Yeah.
Because like it was just like so much confirmation. Because I was like from the beginning I knew she was a girl. Like I
Yeah.
felt that she was a girl.
Yeah.
So
There you
it's
go,
like-
yeah, that story is quite hectic.
Yeah, just going through that whole journey of like just knowing that like this little person was inside of me and now she's like here.
Yeah.
And like you look at her and you kind of go like, how can people not believe in God? Or like,
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if I just thinking of the story, and those who missed it can go look back at
or
one of
link
the
in the
episodes.
description.
Yeah, of from Luna, about Luna's birth, but the story of how, you know, the prophecies that were given and whatever.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, she is, and it's
Yeah.
showing God's hand in
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
as she
Yeah,
went,
yeah.
you know.
And the fact that like everything didn't obviously go according to plan, but she's perfect. Like,
Yeah.
She's healthy, and you know, Amy's healthy and stuff. So
and she's like a perfect child. Like she's, I mean, I know she's kind of crying or whatever, but she said she's
Everyone thinks their
perfect.
child is perfect.
yeah, well,
I mean,
it's a
I've
bit
heard
biased.
some
Yeah,
other people-
it's a bit
Yeah.
biased, but
People have
we
colic
love her.
babies.
If you heard, you want to know about
We love her. She's not
on
colicky.
perfect, go ask their teachers. They'll tell you.
We'll get from
Yeah,
you in
well,
like the
we'll
next
do-
7 years
okay.
or whatever.
Couple of years' time, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The truth.
We love her, and I think it's we're really blessed about that. That's definitely been an awesome highlight. I think another highlight for me, one thing that I expected, but like just living it and experiencing it even more than what I hoped for, is the support we have for each other. Like we both kind of like we're both there for each other. We both love each other. We both like support each other. Like if it's a difficult time, or if it's a fun thing that we like to do, if there's hobbies or whatever, it's like go for it. You know, like if I need to go hunting, obviously within reason.
I thought the word need was used.
But
yeah.
like she never.
Let's be honest, hunting is a need.
Yeah. So like she's
Like we have
never
to
told me
talk
not
about
to
it.
go hunt.
It's a need.
Like I know when I'm pushing it,
Yeah.
but she won't tell me not to go out. So like just the fact that I have that responsibility, oftentimes I would be like, no, sorry guys, I'm not going. Like now, especially now in the last like 2-3 months,
You've had two.
around.
I don't know why he doesn't pass his invitations on to me and just let me go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially now that I've got a rifle on my own, I could just
That's
go.
terrible.
And
I'm
then
such a
you-
terrible friend.
Can you not rub it in, please?
Anyway, so there were like 2 or 3 opportunities that we could go hunt, and we just never. I just.
You didn't need, yeah, as you
I
say, you didn't
couldn't
need
go.
to take it, and you didn't need to.
I couldn't go with a clean heart, you know.
Yeah,
like
that's it.
was
It wasn't,
an
and it wasn't a case of Amy said you're not going.
No,
Absolutely
100%. No, I could
It
go
was
whatever.
like,
Yeah.
please go and get some meat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, but I think that's really awesome. And like when she wants to, give someone a photo shoot for a quarter of the price that she's worth, whatever. Like I have a little bit of a fit with
He's
it, but
like,
then I'm like, bless you. Like let's go, let's do it, let's support, let's and then I'm like second shooter, and we help and we make it great. You know, we support each other, we support each other's
It's
decisions.
definitely seen. I mean,
And,
this is from someone on the outside of the story, but I can see, and I mean, always Amy's like, who was helping you? No, Andrew. I'm like, really? Like, yeah. Rush home. The last time we rushed home
Yes, yeah.
at 10 o'clock in the morning. Or was it the first one? It's the first one, I think it was.
Yes.
We rushed home at 10 o'clock because
It was a wedding, yeah.
There was a wedding helped, and you had to, but you were helping Amy with
Yes.
the wedding, you know.
Exactly.
Well, it's kind of funny.
So-
We both kind of kind of
You help
absorb
each
each
other.
other's
Yeah,
businesses.
Yeah, it's like, so I'm her assistant
She's
and
yours.
she's my assistant, and we
Yeah.
and we
Don't
we,
pay each other.
we do trade of, we do trade of exchange.
It's
Yeah,
just an exchange. That's what's going on.
so
Okay.
Yeah.
like, I'll work for her, and in return she'll work for me.
Yeah.
I mean, we've stayed up until midnight a few
Making
times
candles, yeah.
over the last few
Yeah.
like weeks.
Yeah, even
With a
as
newborn.
even as we're sitting here just recording this, like my phone's going off now. More candle orders.
Yeah.
So
How struggle
So
it is
yeah, I was
to
going to
be
say
so
the struggle
blessed.
is real.
Yeah,
like,
no,
to
first
replace
world
orders coming
problems.
in. First, I don't even know that's first world problem. That's like ritual problems.
yeah,
Dubai
so-
problems.
No.
But I mean, it's so great. I'm so grateful that there's someone who can help. You know, and
Yeah.
sometimes just share the load. It's like insane. You know, so
If you could give a piece of advice, like this is the one thing, like don't do this or do that, or listen, watch out for this or whatever. Something maybe that affected you. It doesn't have to be something that you did for someone.
I always just say, like, we were talking about it last night as well, it's just like deceit is something that really like started to bother me like over time, because like
Yes.
especially in the thing of like sparing someone's feelings
Yes.
yeah,
and being deceitful to do so.
Yeah.
Like so many people will go like, well, you know, I told them
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
but it's not really true, but I didn't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, just be transparent.
It's like the idea of a white lie. A white
Yes.
lie is there. It's not a bad lie because I'm not lying because it's lying because I don't want you to know that I don't want to come and I don't like you to
Yes.
cake or whatever. It's like
Ultimately,
Yeah.
that person looks stupid.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd rather just like
because
live.
it does come out.
It
It
always
always comes out.
It has
does,
to.
Yeah, it's
Truth,
just-
yes, comes out. Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing, like, the biggest piece of advice is just, like, try not to be, I know it's like, try not to be deceitful.
Yeah.
Even if it is to, like, protect the other person.
Yes.
Yeah.
It never works
Be
out
honest
the way
and
you
stuff,
want it
yeah.
to.
Because it hurts, and it's not always like a but. At the end of the day, you trust that person will always be honest with you,
Yeah.
and there's a connection that you have with that. So it's like when you ask them, you know they're not lying to you. You're not in the dark. You know, you don't have any false beliefs or anything like that.
I also say, like, don't take anything, like, too personally or, like, too much to the heart. Like,
Yeah.
just,
So like sorry.
like, just be chilled. Like, if someone,
Yeah.
like, upsets you or, like, something is, like, not working out, like, you don't need to, like, lose your poo
It's-
about it the
yeah.
whole time. Like, just chill. Like, whatever. Like, deal with it in the moment and carry on with life, because we spend, I think, so much time fretting about things.
Yeah, one thing that to join on with an example about that is like you're your own person and you grow up and you have your own ideals and your own picture of how life is going to be, whatever, and then you get into it and then you know some of the things that you thought were normal now upset the other person and stuff like that. Don't take the other person's hurt or whatever
Yeah,
they're doing to you.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a personal thing. It's stuff that they're working through. You know, so it's not necessarily like if I leave the cupboards open, it's not a personal
If-
attack on her.
Not
When.
if.
I'm
when.
not doing it on purpose to irritate her. It's who I am, and I'm working on it. You know, so
Yeah, yeah.
so she can tell me like you know she can get upset with me, but don't dwell on it as like, oh no, they don't love me, because if they really loved me, they would close the cupboards, whatever. It's not like
Yeah.
that. You know, it's
No.
not a personal thing. Get
I
over
don't,
it.
yeah, I mean, I don't think you can. I don't think there's. You know, people think like this, but I don't think there's anything that's a cut and dry like that. You know? Because you can't. It can't be cut and dry.
No,
Not,
no, 100%.
not with people having experiences and
No.
coming from their own lives, as you said, your own way. It can be good or bad. Doesn't matter. The point is that you've come from your own place.
Yes,
Now, two people coming from their own place come together
yes,
to build a place together. There's going to be times where
Clashes.
things clash or overlap or kind of.
yeah,
I mean, we're
Yeah.
like two different cultures as well.
yeah. English and Afrikaans.
Well, it's interesting because someone once told me, he said to me, that Afrikaans and English people can't get married. They can't because that doesn't last. And I was like, I don't think that that's quite true.
No, but it is,
Only we've made
yeah.
it 3 years.
No, but I mean, I know other couples that have made it, but I don't know what he was quite getting at. Women as well for Afrikaans, but and then asked people, but I think they were just trying to like. The point is that it is difficult, and if you're going to
It
work
is
on it, then fine.
difficult.
Yeah.
If you're not going to work on it, it's not going to work.
100%.
They are just very different.
Yeah, but I mean, if you, as long as you're
Yeah.
working on it, it's fine. Now, another piece of advice that I would give that's like really positive is allow the other person just to be themselves. Don't try and change them into the person that you want them to be.
Yes.
Like if they're not who you want to be, then why are you with them?
Yeah.
You know, you need to decide that long before you get married.
And that doesn't mean like don't compromise.
Yeah, like
It means that like
No, there's compromise is good.
Yeah.
Like, I
Compromise is
would
good,
wear-
but there is a limit as well.
100%, yeah.
Either way, so there's a limit of going. Okay, I can't compromise all the time.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
yours and your culture or your
Yes.
whatever. But you can't also not compromise at all.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
got to be a
Needs to be-
balance.
I mean, you do it, but you do it out of love. You know, it's
Exactly.
Like, it's like these button-up shirts. I never, ever used to wear button-up
Please
shirts.
note, Hendrik
Ever.
still has his hoodies that
Like-
that he
Yeah,
wore
yeah.
when we met.
No,
And
before
they
we
are
met even.
I was gonna
No.
torn
say-
up and
I think some of them are before that.
No, long
No,
before.
long
Like,
before.
I
They
have
look
10-year-old
like
hoodies. I mean, you can even go ask my parents. My mom would like steal my clothes because I would wear them the whole time.
No, I
She
do
would steal them and then like
Get rid
I
of
would
them.
go and steal them back again because they have like these huge holes in them and they're just like absolute rubbish and I didn't care what I wore, and so she obviously didn't like that because it's like I'm not well presented, you know. I don't look like
you
it.
looked homeless sometimes.
Yeah, if I rock up at somewhere and I'm supposed to be
I mean, I'm not
representing,
gonna lie.
yeah,
We're all being honest here. I can see what you're getting at.
yeah, you
it's
see.
like you rocked up at church and I've wondered if like I need to pay you the tithe for the month.
Yeah, exactly.
We love
Anyway,
you.
so but I mean, like, so out of love, like
Yeah.
I started wearing nice clothes. She bought me nice clothes. That's really cool. But like I've come
You
to
got
like
to
clothes.
yeah,
like
you
this,
said
you know, it's
yesterday,
like
yeah.
it.
Every
I
now
enjoy
and
it.
then.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, not always, but most
I
times.
think it's- yeah, you
But I
can't-
mean,
yeah.
that's why there's a level
That's
of
it.
compromise.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
meet each other kind of in the middle as far as you can, and it's back to the thing of that. You know, when you get married, you make a set of like promises to the person. And your responsibility is to just stick to those promises. If you want to, like one of the things that I said, I will do anything and everything in my power to make a success out of this relationship. And if that means dressing nice because she likes that, like whether she like
Yeah.
forces me or not, like she never ever forced me to wear anything.
I mean, how would I
But
know
I-
that?
yeah, I
You're
know.
like 5 times the size of me. You're
Exactly.
Put a shirt on
And-
you and be like, you have to wear this.
Exactly. So I would wear. Yeah.
You don't wear this pink shirt with a fluffy unicorn on the front.
Yeah.
You done, son.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but I mean, like I would.
That's
like,
what happens.
I want to make this
Yeah.
amazing. And I know she likes it when I dress nicely and look after myself. So I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I know that she likes. So, like, do that. You know, compromise that to that extent. But,
Yeah.
but don't compromise who you are as a person. Like,
Yeah,
if she asks me to
100%.
stop hunting and stop eating meat, sorry, sissy, not gonna happen.
Silly.
But it is both. It's where it comes in both sides of that comes in.
Yes.
Because she wouldn't ask that
Exactly.
Yeah.
because that's complete
So
control.
why
That's
would
not-
I be with a person
Yeah.
like that anyway?
Exactly.
No.
And you wouldn't give that because it's not who you
No.
are to give out
I
that.
think the thing is,
Yeah, you don't
in
go
a
hunting when she's like 9,000 years pregnant.
yeah.
Have
I
out
feel
the
like that's
pop.
fair, yeah.
You know, but all these guys do that, but it is fair. But then the other side is also when there's nothing going on, it's hunting season or whatever, and like you want to go hunting, enjoy. You know?
In the Bible it says that when
And
you
don't
get
forget
married,
me.
you are no longer your own. You give your life, you give your body. Your body is no longer your own. Your life is no
Yeah.
longer your own. And I think that that's a very key thing that people miss in dating and getting to know each other and planning to get married, because you need to be able to completely surrender everything to the other person and trust that they will never ask you to do something that compromises you.
Yeah.
So, you know, you completely surrender. So I can ask her to do anything. I can ask her to do the dishes every day. I can ask her to do anything, and she should be able to surrender that. But she should also trust me enough that I won't compromise her
Yeah.
like that and put her in a situation like that. And I think that's important.
Yes.
So, yeah, trust each other and you know, surrender and live as if you want to. You know, carry the other person on your hands. I don't know how I'm supposed to say it. Like you just
And that's what you're saying. Yeah.
make them.
Put them first. You know.
Put them
I
first,
Once
exactly,
heard
yeah.
someone say that the point of each partner is to make the other person as happy as possible.
Yes.
You don't worry about yourself, you make them happy, and they don't worry about themselves, they worry
Yeah.
about you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
So,
good. Yeah.
in which case, you don't have exactly that. There's no one asking you not to go hunting, and there's no
Yeah.
one like
Yeah.
denying what they really want to do
Yeah.
because you're asking them. You're worried about her, and she's worried about you,
Yes.
and that's how you're both building each other up.
Yeah.
Um,
We make
So-
one sane person.
Yeah, we're two insane people, and together we make one sane person. Yeah.
Relatively sane.
I am
It's
God.
fine, you'll find your other insane
I'm just insane now. Is that what you're saying?
No, you got half sanity and half insanity.
Okay.
You're a good balance.
A good balance.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
So
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like it. So in closing, I love you guys. and get married and have kids. No, I'm just joking.
Thanks for that.
Hashtag sponsored by Pampers.
Not really, no.
Powered by, no.
Powered by Agape Wedding Videography.
Yeah, that is what we are.
Candles.
That is what we are powered by.
Yeah.
They bought the table and their cameras
And the house.
and the house and
Yeah.
yeah.
Shot. Okay, anyway,
Cool.
thanks guys. Like and subscribe. Check you guys later.